Today I'm going to show you how to make pie dough cinnamon rolls. It's a very easy little treat to make. It's good for a little breakfast, and it's very easy to make using the ready-made pie crust that I'll be using today. Here's our ingredients. We have cinnamon and sugar. I've already mixed these up and put them in a bowl. We'll need some squeezed butter, a little flour to coat the paper with. This is the ready-made pie crust that you can buy, and a strainer, spoon, and a knife. And here we have the wax paper that the pie doughs will be going onto, and if you look at my other tutorial, the wax paper trick, that will show you what I've done here, which will help you out in the future. Okay, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to spread some flour, and the way I like to do it is I use a little cheap strainer. Put a little bit of flour in here, and then just spread it over the entire area that the pie dough will be contacting so that it doesn't stick. And I've used a sifter with the hand crank on the side. The problem with those is they come out in bursts. I think this gives a nice, neat, even coating, much more so than the sifter does. The next thing is the pie dough. If you just take this out of the refrigerator, it will be too cold to open. You can put it in the microwave for just a little bit, and then that will help. But be very careful. It's better to under warm it than over warm it, because then it will cook it a little bit and it will stick. And we just gently roll it out. Sometimes you'll have little spots that will stick. So far this is going very well. When you get down to the small part is where it gets a little tough. You just got to be gentle with it. Just bring it down. Okay. Let's flatten that out a little bit. Then I'll take squeezed butter and just put a big thick coating of squeezed butter on here. That was probably half the jar. And I'll take a spoon and spread it around. Just try to get an even coating over the entire crust. And in this, it's good to have a lot of the butter, because that helps it basically fry the dough up as it's cooking, and it mixes with the sugar and cinnamon. It makes a very, very lovely flavor. But just try and get that spread out evenly all over. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Then I take the strainer and I put my sugar and cinnamon mix in it. And do the same thing to the pie dough that I did to the wax paper. Put a good thick coating of the sugar and cinnamon. Back in. Then I take a knife, just a regular old disposable knife, and just gently cut your way through. Don't try and pull through it, just sort of lightly saw. If you try and pull, it'll tear the dough apart. Now you can just roll the whole thing up and make really big ones, but they don't cook quite as well as the smaller ones. That's why I cut it in half, to make them really small. And then just start on the round edge and just gently fold it over. Now don't roll it tightly. If you try to roll it tightly, it will squeeze out the butter and the cinnamon and sugar. So just gently lay it up over itself. Just kind of keep it straight as you go. and you will have some squeeze out no matter what. I kind of scoot it back, mash it down, and then I usually rotate it up so that I can sort of pinch the edge down just a little bit. And I'll do the same thing here. Just roll it up. Roll it around and mash that edge down a little bit. And then get my pan. I've got aluminum foil on here, already sprayed with the no stick. And just cut these. And the end pieces, they're kind of ugly, so I just eat them. And they're good. Just slice them up into little small rolls. Now that we have them all sliced up, we place them onto the foil, and when I do, I give them a little bit of a mash to kind of round them up so that they'll stand up. You want to stand them up on the cut end, because that way it keeps the butter and everything from melting out. If you lay it on the side, it'll just come pouring out and make a mess. And then also you get you a nice little round shape to them, so you just mash them up just a little bit like that. And in case you're wondering where all these others came from, I made 2 batches, since there are 2 pie crusts in the pack. Okay.
Okay.
Now we've got them all on the pan. I'm going to put them in the oven, and I have this oven preheated to 450 degrees, which is the temperature listed for the pie crust on the box. And I have my rack one setting above middle, that way the heat gets to the top and they get a good brown on them. And I'm going to let those cook for about 15 to 20 minutes. I'm just going to keep an eye on them, and once they get a little bit of brown, then I'll pull them out, and we'll show you that in just a minute. Tell you what, I'll step aside, I can open the door. Are you recording?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, these are pretty much done. They've been in for just about 15 minutes. You can see a lot of the butter does melt out, but they get a nice golden color to them. And they are very, very hot. Do not even attempt to eat one yet. It will burn the crap out of you. But this spatula, very thin spatula, I've sprayed some no stick on it. And then just slide in under, tap them out on a plate. And generally the ones closer to the middle of the batch will be a little bit gooey on the bottom, and that's really good. But as you can see, it's very easy to make these, and they are wonderful. Everybody will love you for having them. Enjoy. Go ahead and start. It will burn, and it will probably burn a small portion of it directly.